Hi, I'm Ken Mingus. This is Mingus on Tech, and today we're having a special birthday edition. Sharon and Keith are here. Sharon's birthday is today.
Yay!
Happy birthday.
Thanks.
Thanks for coming by. The reason I wanted to have Sharon come down and talk to us is we're going to look at retail IT, what's going on in the retail industry, and how they've suddenly discovered that technology might be a good thing to stay afloat. And we also want to talk about a new World Economic Forum report yesterday that says that technology is going to eliminate 7 million jobs worldwide, and should we all fear for our lives. But let's get to the good news, or maybe less bad news first, and talk about retail IT. Sharon, since you were just at the big show in New York, the National Federation of Retailers, National Retail Federation?
National Retail Federation.
All right, the NRF, yeah. There's a lot going on right now, it seems, between retailers and technology and trying to figure out how to get customers in stores and get them buying. So what kinds of things are happening?
Well, it really sounds like retailers have figured out that it's no longer enough to have a website. It's no longer enough to sell things with e-commerce, that it needs to be one overall experience where you go online, you're researching, you're checking prices at different stores, you're checking reviews on Yelp, and then you go into the store to check it out. But suddenly they want to know that you're in the store. They want to know.
As opposed to just some stranger who wandered in off the street and they have no idea what you might want to buy.
Right.
Okay.
So they know that, okay, Sharon just walked in the store and she's been researching TVs.
Okay.
So
I like
someone
that.
will come up to me, say, are you interested in looking at the TVs we have? And then they'll go
Which
over and
I
they
will
can
say sounds vaguely creepy.
Yeah.
I get it, but it's a little.
It's
Well,
like a
maybe even
concierge,
more-
but man, I don't know if someone started approaching me
You
saying,
mean a concierge?
yeah, like
want
walking
a
in and
concierge.
going, "Hello,
I'm sorry.
Keith."
Yeah. All right. We interrupted. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
go on,
I'm
sorry.
Oh, no, and you're right. There's
So
a definite
you walk
creepy
in
factor
and they're ready
there.
to help you as soon as you walk in the
You
door.
know, they come right up, say, do you want to see the TVs? And then they'll show you the different features, and they know the things you've been curious about online.
Yeah.
They can talk to you about the reviews. They know who you are. But that also gives the store a lot of information about you, because instead of just compiling information about what you're looking at online, suddenly they have information now about what you're looking at in the store.
Okay.
So
they can track online and the whole brick and mortar part of where you are, what
because
you're doing, what you're seeing.
They want to know about you and what you want and what you'll buy, and this will give them twice that information.
Isn't that really, I mean, when you think about it, the amount of information that people sort of give up now about shopping habits, things on Facebook, personal habits, where you go, who you're with, the amount of information that's floating around out there, I can imagine would be very powerful for a retailer if they can figure out, before you even get there, what you're likely to do, where you're likely to go. I know that one of the stories you wrote about involved Neiman Marcus, which seems to be like they're sort of leaping ahead of some of the other retailers and trying to figure out how to put together this seamless experience. So I mean, what kinds of things that is Neiman Marcus doing that sets them apart?
Well, one thing they're doing is that, well, let me start with, retailers generally are known for not investing in R&D, not being really innovative.
Okay.
But Neiman Marcus is, and they have what they call their innovation or iLab department, which is a department of one full-time person.
Okay, well, you start
It's a
small and you
start.
build
It's
from
a
there.
start.
Yeah, okay.
But he's actually pivotal in pulling in different people from the company, from, say, marketing or finance or design or head of the Northeast region, and getting them working on different projects together.
Yeah.
And they really want this whole seamless experience, and they're willing to work with virtual reality, with artificial intelligence. They want to pull in all this different
Interesting.
technology just to make your shopping experience better.
Well, let me ask you this, though. All right, so
And to keep you buying with Neiman
well, and to
Marcus.
keep you buying, of course, yeah. Is my Best Buy going away? I mean, I like going to Best Buy and looking, but I don't often go in, look at the TVs, and bring one home. So, I mean, but I don't want it to go anywhere. So what's going to happen to stores like that, the big box stores?
Well, one analyst was saying that by 2025, a lot of our stores will be showrooms. And they won't have a big inventory there. You're not going to pick out a pair of pants or a new
Pair of shoes
pair
for
of
the
shoes.
Imelda collection. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And walk out with them. That you'll go in, you'll try something on, you'll decide which style you like, what color you like, and then someone will just, put it in their tablet, and
Yeah.
it'll be shipped to you.
Okay.
So
this is the idea that at some point you might be able to go to the store, look at a product, and maybe even before you get home, your product is on the way to you or is being droned overhead to
Right.
your house.
Right.
Right. I mean, Amazon with its Prime has 2-day delivery already.
Right.
And we all know that Amazon has been looking into the whole drone
Drones.
delivery for
I
same-day
still want to see
delivery.
drones with my TV flying over
Like
the
I
neighborhood.
said,
I really do.
That
I think
doesn't
you're gonna
scare
have
you for
4
your
of them.
TV?
4 of them. Well, as long as
You're
they
gonna
don't
have 4
drop
of them
it.
connected, as long as they don't drop it,
Yeah.
and as long as someone doesn't shoot it out of the sky. But I figured out that they're going to solve that problem with cameras on the drone.
Actually, I saw
Yeah.
a story recently that drones are becoming IoT aware, so they will know where they are in the air as they're delivering your goods.
Right, we're sidetracking a little bit.
Okay,
So my
sorry.
house
All
would
right.
then know
So-
the drone was on the way, so I could go out and meet it.
It could, yeah. It
So
would open the door ready for you.
The showroom aspect of it means that your employees also have to be more knowledgeable about the products that they're going to be recommending.
Well, exactly, because
instead of just stocking.
Your store
inventory.
associates are no longer going to be stocking the shelves. They're
Yeah.
going to be talking to you about what you want to buy and helping you buy it.
It's interesting. One of the things that Keith and I were talking about earlier is Home Depot, for instance, with the Home Depot app, where you can now use the app to sort of find your way around the store. I mean, part of the fun of Home Depot is kind of discovering while you're lost, looking for a screwdriver or a bracket for a shelf or whatever,
Or asking
other
some
things that you might
nice-looking
want.
guy how to find that.
Or asking some guy where the tools are. That,
My biggest problem with Home Depot is that I have to spend 20 minutes
don't
trying
wanna
to
ask.
find someone, and I don't want to ask someone. I'm a guy. I don't, I just.
I know. I
don't
miss
like-
the gratification.
I don't ask
In
for
and out.
directions.
I don't
In and
ask
out.
for directions, which is why
No.
I have a GPS on my phone.
Yeah.
And so what I liked about this Home Depot app was I could type in to see if the item that I was looking for was there before I even go to the store. And then the app actually tells you what aisle it's in and where it exactly is, and there's a map that shows you how to get there.
Yeah.
But will that cut down on the other extraneous buying I do while I'm wandering around
it
Home
would-
Depot looking
yeah.
for light bulbs? I'll think, oh, I need that, or oh, that looks good, I'll get that.
I don't think Home Depot's strategy is to not help you so that you buy 60
to leave
more
you
things.
lost in the labyrinth of
I-
Home
I-
Depot,
I
so
do
you
think
will buy
it's their
something to get your way
philosophy.
out of
Yeah.
there,
I
right?
think that you will still have your impulse buys and or you just realize, oh yes, I need duct tape. And
Yeah.
but if you're in the store and you don't know where the duct tape
You
is,
don't have duct tape at home?
I've got a lot of duct
Okay.
tape, but
Yeah.
I always want more. Or
Because why? There's a run on duct tape.
there's those duct tapes that now have patterns on them.
If
Yeah.
there's
My
an
kids-
apocalypse, we'll
my
need
kids love
extra
it.
duct
Well,
tape.
we know where to go.
I've got Batman duct tape.
Okay.
I've got Frozen duct tape. With the Anna and Elsa.
Yeah.
I mean,
Is that
it's
real
great.
duct tape?
It's real duct
But
tape.
Yeah.
we digress.
But we digress.
Yeah.
Anyway, if I'm in the store and I can't remember where the duct tape is, boop, boop, boop,
Hit
boop,
the app and
it,
it's
you know,
there.
and helps me to get there.
I d-
Again, I think impulse buys is a good point, but I think the bigger issue for me is, do they have it, and where is it so that I can go and
Maybe
do my other
I'm at
things.
Home Depot too much because I seem to know where this stuff is.
Well, the question I have then, okay, so to bring it back to the big shoe,
putting us back on the
as
track.
as Ellen would
Oh,
say.
did we have a track?
We did, well, sort of. The question is, so are retailers, do they seem to be ready to embrace this and actually get serious about this? Other than Neiman Marcus with its party of one innovation, from what you could tell at the show, are retailers paying attention? I mean, this is something that is actually coming. It's not
Right.
just sort of pie in the sky.
Retailers talked a lot about this overall experience and melding brick and click, from Nike to Disney to Neiman Marcus, North Face. Everybody's
I think
talking.
Under Armour is
Under Armour, exactly.
Okay.
They're all talking about what technology they need to make a better experience, to get their store more information about the shopper, and to make sure that the shopper comes to them instead of some new startup niche that is online and high tech from the very start. Because these big stores, these big retailers, have to switch around a lot of their infrastructure to be able to do this.
Right.
So they want to make sure that they're not going to be beaten out of the market by a startup that is doing this from the get-go.
Well, if you've got a store that's used to having a lot of stock on shelves, and suddenly they become basically a showroom, that's a real change for them. The stock
real
goes to
change.
wherever the warehouse
But
is.
think
or
how much
whatever.
less they could spend on retail because they don't need nearly
much
as big a
room.
footprint.
Who do you
Right.
think would be the first major retailer to try to tackle this new showroom idea? If you had to put money down right now.
Well, I think Macy's has been experimenting with it a
Interesting.
little bit in terms of going in and they'll ship things to you.
Well,
But-
and it does sound like Neiman Marcus is at
I
the
was just
cutting
gonna
edge here
say.
because they
Yeah.
were supposed to be rolling out some sort of test, store like this, I think, this month in Dallas at their Dallas store. So even though, we sort of joke about innovation, they are obviously
They are
pushing
focused
ahead.
on it, right?
Right. Okay,
Is
good.
Neiman Marcus the one with the cookie recipe?
I don't think so. I
Yeah.
don't know. Moving on.
But I know
Talk
which
about-
cookie recipe
Moving
you
on
mean.
from retail sales to, I look forward to our future showrooms. The one other thing I wanted to talk about briefly was you had written about a report that came out from the World Economic Forum talking about how technology, and a variety of technology, artificial intelligence and data analytics and robotics and
3D
machine
printing,
learning,
right.
3D printing, all of that is sort of coming together in a way that it's going to streamline the way some jobs are done and could cost the global economy 7 million jobs, even as it's creating a couple million more in different areas.
Right.
So there's going to be this big shift. Any sense as to what people should be looking out for to know whether or not machine learning or something is going to take over their jobs? Or
Well, the report specifically said office jobs, managerial jobs, will be
so it's automating things
at
that-
risk.
Okay.
But there will be growth, according to the World Economic Forum, in jobs pertaining to engineering, mathematics, or computer science.
Right. And data
But
analytics is a big thing, right?
Data analysts will really be in growth.
Okay, I guess I better get back to data analytics. then.
Back to school for
Do
me.
you, well, do you think that that is something that's going to affect kind of us in that? Let's just
Well,
say we're
clearly
not millennials.
Well, clearly
You know,
technology.
I would say millennials and then the next generation is something. This is something that they need to look at in terms of what kind of job will I have.
if I was in
20
school
years.
now, or if I was in my 20s
Yeah.
or whatever, I would want to know a lot about data analytics.
Well, since I am in my 20s with
Exactly.
this
Yes,
current birthday.
because with your birthday. Okay, so we should keep that in mind, at least in
Definitely.
terms of where the jobs are going.
Right, but it's not all doom and gloom.
Right.
The report also said that there would be about 2 million jobs created because of the new technology, and that a lot of jobs will change. Say, instead of having a meter reader go to
Yep.
your house to see how much electricity or water or whatever you've been using, that we'd have sensors for that, and we wouldn't need the meter readers anymore, but we would need people to monitor the information coming in. We would need people at the companies creating these sensors.
Okay. So
So the
basically,
jobs are
some
shifting.
jobs shift around. It's not so much, there'll be some that are lost, there'll be some that are gained. And in any event, technology continues to march on, and we will all have to learn new skills
well,
in
it's
the future,
bad
which
news
is a
if
good
you're
thing.
a meter reader. I
If you're a
guess.
meter reader, but then you can transform yourself into a
Uber-
sensor reader
or an
who
Uber
sits back
driver
at
before the robots then
exactly
start
before,
taking those
before
jobs
our robot
away.
overlords take us. Okay, on that note, I'd like to thank Sharon and Keith for being with me today. That's our look at technology. That's a wrap.